So good to meet you.
So good to see you too. I'm so excited to share all the longevity tips.
I can't wait. It's a little nerve-wracking. I told you I just turned 30.
Yes.
Which isn't, I feel like, the biggest milestone because your 30s are still supposed to be about mobility. You're supposed to have everything you need. But I still feel like everyone, even young people, could use the tips to almost slow the age.
Well, this is true because if you don't start it till you're my age, it's a little harder to reverse age. But because I started doing things like yoga and bar, I know you do.
I love yoga.
Because I started doing that in my 20s and 30s, it's actually easier to incorporate as we get older. So the best thing, I didn't care about longevity in my 20s or 30s. I was like, 50, might as well just forget about it, right? But
I don't even know that age.
I don't even know that age. That's like my parents' age. But if you start to think about it at your age, you're going to have the mobility, you're going to be pain-free.
That's the biggest part.
Strong.
I think a lot of people talk about that idea of everyone wants to live as long as they can, but the separate conversation is what is your life, your quality of life like as you age? Because
we call it a health span.
I could make it to, 100 years old, but what if half of that lifespan you're not?
Exactly. Well, that's what so many people say, I don't want to live that long. I'm like, no, that's because you're thinking about Western aging, where you might be on dialysis, or you might be suffering, or you might lose your mental facilities. But actually, you do want to live to be 108 if you practice.
If I can do this.
You can think, and in the Limitless Life Blueprint, I talk about mental acuity, which is why some of my moves require full attention. So if we can increase our health span, not just our lifespan, then exactly, we'll be doing this same thing 50 years from now.
We saw like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, like in her 90s, just going hard on the weights and everything. It really is about, I feel like, starting early and not stopping.
And it's your mindset, right? If you decide aging is bad, then that's going to be your reality. If you decide that you are in charge of how you age, then that's your reality.
Channeling the positive energy.
Yeah, Evan, it's just such a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
You have to check out your morning. Evan is the star of 8 mornings.
I'm trying my best, but you're the star this morning.
Well, for 2 minutes. Yes. I have my 2 minutes of fame.
Hey, that's all it took to get me breaking a sweat. So
Yes,
it's perfect.
Thank you so much, Evan.
Of course, thank you.